Cheryl, thanks for joining me today. I remember the first time that I ever met a member of the C-suite. I just got my first ever head of engineering role, and the director that had hired me was walking me around the floor before I'd even started. And suddenly he took me into the corner, and there was this desk, and he said, "And this is the CTO." And I froze up, and I don't know why. And she ended up being such a lovely lady, and it was completely on me. But I did freeze up. I was intimidated. Why do we do this? Why do we get so intimidated when we meet a senior leader?
Well, I think there's a few things. I mean, partially they're a little unreal, almost like you haven't met them as a person. You've seen them probably in quite crafted scenarios where they're doing a town hall or whatever. So I think we sort of look up to them. Also, it might well be that the first time you experience meeting somebody at that level, it's partly aligned with you having just been promoted into a new role. So it's all a bit new, really. But so I think it's totally normal and not a bad thing to be a little bit nervous anyway. Really, just shows you
Yeah.
care a bit.
Yeah, looking back, it's so irrational, but it does feel like a hump, doesn't it? Once you're there and you're dealing with CEOs all of the time, that you realize they're just normal people. But before you get there, you just think they're just almost like a different breed, don't you?
Absolutely. Once you have met them and been in some of those meetings, it all becomes very normal.
Yeah, totally. Um, and I think there's no doubt that if you do want to progress, if you do want to reach the top levels of your career, you're going to have to deal with the C-suite. You're going to have to deal with a CTO or a CEO or a CFO or something. And they aren't different, are they? It's just the environment that they operate in.
Oh, totally. I think the common theme is just the amount of time. They just are so busy, back to back meetings, totally context shifting all the time. And that's tricky. They've got to make decisions, big decisions. The further up the ladder you go, the less doingness and the more decision making. And you could have somebody at that senior level who, and I mean, I've been there as a VP, your diary is absolutely rammed. So I literally would look at my diary and go, what's next? What's next? What's next? And
I've
it
been
could
there.
go from
I've
being a
definitely been there.
one-to-one to,
You haven't got a day view, have you? You've got like a next minute view.
yeah, it is like, where do I need to be? What meeting room is it? And you are running from one thing to the next. There's never a spare moment in your diary and totally different topics. So I
Yeah.
think that's probably what makes the difference.
So I think we're agreed that they are humans and that they're the same as you and me and everyone watching or listening, but they're in a different environment. But we do have to approach them differently, don't we? We can't just approach them as if they're your colleague. You have to have a different approach if you want to make an impact.
Yeah, and I think that covers a few things. It's just even getting in front of them. I mean, oftentimes, if it's your first time to present to people at that level, and I mean, we're talking about C-suite, but it could be the same if you've been quite a junior member of a team and you are now presenting to, the tech leadership team or something. So it's the same. It just gets a little trickier the higher up you go. Um, but it's getting the time in their diary and then just thinking about, well, what is it that they need? They don't have much time. So you have to present things to enable them to make decisions and make sure that it's really clear. I think that's the difference. It's not so much discussion. It's more like, well, here's the problem. Here's what I would like from you. Are we going to do this or that? Are we going with option A or option B? Whereas when you're meeting with your peers or with your own team, you're probably more troubleshooting maybe, or figuring like, how do we solve this problem? So there's a lot more discussion. It's a different way of working because the outcome's different. The outcome is they need to make a decision. You're helping them to make that decision.
Yeah, and I think that's a very clear distinction, isn't it? You're not working things out, you're actually asking for a decision. And of course, it strikes me that you're quite right. If you're a junior and you're dealing with a manager, you might feel a bit intimidated. The manager might be feeling a bit intimidated with the director or a VP a VP may feel that way with the C-suite, but equally, the C-suite have got the board and maybe
Yes.
important customers, and there's always something beyond, isn't there? It doesn't just
Exactly.
end at the C-suite.
Absolutely, and sometimes what your job will be is to make your boss look good. So, I would, for example, working for the CTO, we'd have like monthly meetings with the CFO to go through the budgets, and as most CFOs are, they're quite tough cookies and
Yep.
ask all the really hard questions. So my job was to make sure the CTO knew what he was talking about. And I did that by, a preparation and a series of other meetings. And then I had a prep meeting with him. So even though I'd been doing all of the detailed work behind the scenes, when we sat in front of the CFO, he would lead and he would talk it through. And because he was good at his job, I'm going, he did really well at picking up on those points.
Great. Don't you love having those people around you who do that, who do prep you and make you look good? Like, it's not lost on you, is it? You remember those people.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what we all need that. So it's whoever might be doing the presenting, and even if it's just with your team is presenting something, somebody's going to be the one at the front.
Yeah.
But you've all worked together to do that, to contribute to the presentation.
Yeah. Good teamwork.